Hi guys, welcome to Rach and Fi Unplugged. How are you, Rach?
I'm great. How are you, Fee?
Yeah, great, thank you. I'm really excited because today we're going to talk about one of my interests, which is numerology, which is, there's so many different layers to it, but today we're just going to focus on our personal year because I feel like knowing that is a little bit of a game changer. So,
Yes, it's really interesting because obviously, I work in an area where it's about empowering women and then having a goal and setting intentions and wanting to create something different. But quite often, if our year and our intentions don't quite match up, then we can be really pushing for something that's not really meant to happen this year. And if we
mm,
know that about ourselves, then we can sort of sit back a little bit and go, okay, I can still start all this stuff, but I'm not going to probably get the results I was really hoping for.
absolutely. And it's so empowering to work with the energy. As you said, Rach, you might be trying to push ahead and start something new,
Mm,
but you might be in a year number nine, which is all about closure and like shedding all the old,
hmm.
because next year is the year that new beginnings and opportunities and the time to take action. So you can do the preparation in the year number nine. There's nothing to stop you starting something in the year number nine.
Yeah.
However, it's a little bit like rowing up a river, like against
Hmm.
the
The
current
flow.
as
Yeah.
opposed to with it. So
Yeah.
when you go with the energy of the cycle of the year, everything just sort of flows, and it just feels a lot easier than if you
Yeah.
are like sort of going against the energy of the year. So
Awesome.
I'm really excited to be talking about this. So numerology is all about numbers, energies, and cycles,
Yeah.
and it's something that has been around for thousands of years, which has been used by ancient civilization. So the numerology we're going to talk about today is known as modern numerology or Western
Hmm.
numerology, and it was developed by Pythagoras, who was the
Hmm.
Greek philosopher, mathematician, about 250,000, 2,500 years ago.
Do you know?
Um,
Can I just interrupt for a minute? Do you
yeah,
know? I was thinking, oh, because obviously, going through high school and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, where am I ever going to use this? But here I am using some.
Pythagoras,
I know, right?
the
I love
father
it.
of modern numerology. Who would have thought?
I can actually, there you go, girls. Don't discount Pythagoras.
No. So obviously, like there's lots of like you've got your life path, which is like when you add all your numbers together, you've got your destiny, your name number, all of that. But today we're just going to focus on the year number. So the way we come up with the year number, well, I'll just step it back. So we go in a 9 year cycle.
Yeah.
So the one being the beginning and all the way through to the nine, which is the conclusion. And then we start the 1 year again. So
Hmm.
it's really interesting, if you're new to this, to look at what was happening in particular when you're in a year number one or a year number nine, because you'll find that the year number one might have been when you started the career change or you started
Hmm.
studying or you moved to a different location. Like there's always something, new beginning or opportunity that comes. And in the year number nine, you might remember that as being like a shedding year, like a year that you kind of had to release a lot of things,
Hmm.
or perhaps there was like emotional baggage that you hadn't dealt with,
Hmm.
that you're in this year number nine, it's all coming to the surface. It's like, okay, you've pushed it aside, but now in this year number nine, we need to release it and shed
Yeah.
it because we need to get you ready for your next 9 year cycle.
Are you just like talking to me today because I am in the year number nine and I actually have done this process this year? Like, seriously?
I know so many people that are in year number nine this year, and
Yeah.
it's so crazy because you're all having this similar experience of like
Yeah.
all of this. I think you're a beautiful example of how working with the energy in a positive, but when you're
Yeah.
not aware of it, you can feel like you're being slapped around a bit, Rach.
Well, yeah, and it's been really quite interesting for me because I'm like, and I've had my Chiron return this year as well. So I'm like, oh, how's this shit gonna go down? Because like this could look really disastrous. But you know, when I was creating my Secret Sister candle, which was you know, which is about domestic abuse and things like that, and because I had such a toxic relationship, I just didn't realize how much of my experience had been suppressed until I actually had to go through all of this stuff with my candle, and it just brought it all to the forefront. And it was like, oh my God. It was, yeah. So it was releasing all of that
Mm.
emotion and energy and that had been around that relationship, which obviously had ended more than 9 years ago, but it was still there. I hadn't dealt with it.
And that's
And
and it's
yeah.
so crazy because you created that candle, not even overly identifying it with your own stuff. And it wasn't until
No
you're in
way.
the middle of it and you're like, hang on a minute, like,
This is mine.
this is
Yeah.
mine. This is
Yeah.
my
It
stuff
was,
that I needed
yeah.
to process and work through.
Yeah.
And you've done it beautifully, but I'm
Oh,
sure
thank you.
it hasn't been the easiest journey at times when you've been going
No.
through, moving through all that. But so much
No.
better than taking that into year number one next year.
Definitely. I want to leave that shit behind. Like
Yes.
but it's also it's helping me to emotionally detach from the experience as well, which I hadn't done. So, you know, by addressing it and processing it, it's then me being able to have conversations with people without being triggered and being there for them and making them feel that their experiences were, you know, unfortunate. However, that's not what we're going to look like moving forward. So,
Mm.
yeah.
There's
So
a lot of
that
wisdom in that year number nine. That's where you can do some deep
yeah.
transformation and develop that wisdom. And then for you working in the field that you're working in, that's where you can, share that wisdom and with other people.
Yeah.
So role model it. So
Mm.
so how about we break it down, Rach? So I guess
Yes,
there's
do that.
lots of yeah. So I guess there's lots of different, like some people go from birthday to birthday. I go from the start of the year to the end of the year. So
Yeah.
January we start the new year,
Yeah.
and then December we finish it. However, around September, I find the next year energy starts to come into play. So I feel like for you, being in year number nine,
Mm-hmm.
around that September, you might have that energy of the new beginnings and opportunity. Like you'll feel that little
Yeah.
bit of a shift going into the year number one. So we work out our year by doing our month and day of birth, and then we add those to the year that we're in. So for example, if we're born on the 1st of the 1st and we're in the year 2023, then we go 1 + 1 is 2, 20. So that's another 4 with another 2, which is 6. And then we add the 3 onto that, which is that we're in year number 9. So if we add all those together and we come up with a 16, then we break those down to we add the 1 and the 6, and it comes
Yeah.
down to a 7. So for Rachel at the moment, who's born on the 26th of the 3rd, we go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So she's a year number 9.
Yeah.
I might have done that a bit quick. Did that all make
But that's
sense?
fine. I mean, you can check it out online and just work out how you can calculate your own number for the year. And I'm just going to, this is a book that I have on numerology, so that actually lays out how you can work out all the other numbers as well. So if you didn't quite catch what Fiona said, you can just Google it, or
Google life. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But the
yeah,
life path number is your biggest energy. So that's
yeah.
your month, your day, your month, and your year. So
Year
you
you were
add
born.
those all
Yeah,
together, and that's the biggest energy. So Rachel's the
a
5, which
5.
is
Yeah.
the freedom lover adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the 4, which is the dedicated worker. Yeah, so it just shows and how we're meant to work in our energy in this lifetime. So, and it's like crazy accurate.
Mm.
I'd
Yeah,
like to be a
definitely.
5, but like 4 really like that foundation and routine and loving the work and all those sorts of things. So
But that's what motivates you. So, you know,
mm,
we are who we are, even though we think, oh, someone else's life would be better. But that's not how it works. We're here to experience it as us. So, you know,
mm,
for me, freedom is so important, even though I'm not this like I would not say I'm a thrill seeker or anything like that, but freedom of choice is really important to me. And yet I can, so that really resonates with my number 5. But for you, you know, your work is really important. And even
Mm,
though it's you know, people think work as it's a task, it's a this, it's a that. If you're doing the right thing, it's joy and it's fulfilling. So yeah.
mm,
Anyway,
interesting.
so
So,
we'll keep
Rach,
going.
we might go through the different years and what they mean.
Yeah.
So we'll
Okay.
start at the 1.
Yeah.
So the 1 is the beginning of the 9-year cycle. And this is where we have new beginnings, new opportunities. It's the
Mm-hmm.
time to take action. It's where we can have changes in career, jobs, where we can, it might be where we step into a leadership role. Like it's a year to be like really develop your self-confidence and be confident in your decisions. Yeah, and to step out there as that leader, taking action. It could be like moving, like sort of new beginnings. Yeah, so it's all about, it's a powerful doing year, is a year number 1.
Beautiful. Yep.
Yeah. And then we move into year number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So after we have like so the year number 9, as I'm going backwards a little bit, but you know the
Mm-hmm.
year number 9 is a pretty big year, and then you move into the year number 1, which is a pretty big action year, and then we move into the year number 2, which after having those 2 big years can feel like it's a like the energy slows down, like it's more of a I take a bit of a back seat sort of an energy. So it's because I guess we can't always be building. So we need to like build and then we need to like consolidate. So this is a year where we need to stabilize, consolidate all of what we've just been through.
Yeah.
It's a year for patience, balance, emotions. I'm just checking my notes here. Um,
So
and
it's
also,
a sort of a reflective year as well, is it? The
yeah. So,
2.
and while it might not feel like a lot's going on, there's a
Yeah.
lot of processing and things going on
Mm.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it can seem, so that's where we need to have patience, particularly after
Yeah.
we've had all the energy moving forward. There can be challenges in relationships, or it's a great time for single people to find relationships. So it's a good time
Okay.
for romance and connection, self-love, connection with self. And also too, it's a really a good year. Like we can be a little bit on the sensitive side. So it's a really
Mm.
great year to develop our intuition or
Mm.
take some studies in the metaphysical, develop our psychic abilities, all that sort of thing. So that aligns with the year number 2.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Let's move into number 3. What do we got for 3?
Year number 3. So after our little bit of a quiet year, then we move into the
Yeah.
year number 3. And year number 3 is just, I guess there's a lots of action, lots of going on. And then we get to the year number 3, which I just feel like it's all about creativity and joy and connection and socializing and self-expression. So it's yeah, and also too, there can be that intellectual thirst where we want to gain knowledge. So we can
Mm.
do that through study or through travel, talking to people. It's about just doing things that brings us joy. Yeah, and it's a year to be really optimistic. So it's just like this joyful, happy, optimistic. And it's a little bit of a reward year after a
The
lot of what you've
2.
started in
Yeah.
the year number 1, you can
Yeah.
be coming into like to reap those rewards from that.
Rewards. Okay. Awesome.
And
All
then we
right.
move
Number
into
4.
year number 4, which is another bit of a, the year number 4 is all about like doing the thing. It's about order, effort, building and planning. It's about putting the systems in place. It might be buying a
Mm.
house, getting your finances in order, doing study, knuckling. It's kind of a bit of a knuckle down and let's get things done.
So it's almost like, you know, the year number 3, you've learnt a new skill. So year number 4 is really about honing that skill. It's about refining
Yeah.
it and just, you know, working it out, that type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's kind of like laying the foundation. Like we've had a party year.
Yeah.
now it's time to lay the foundation and make sure that, you know, like the systems are in place.
Yeah.
So it can be, I guess it could be considered, I don't want to use the word drudgery, but like it's a year where, you know, career might come into focus where you have to be a little bit more focused that way, or getting things done. So
yeah.
yeah. Okay. So then we and also too, health could be coming into place. So putting those systems in place, which could be like health.
So it could be, I want to get healthy this year. I need to be really focused on doing the right thing, having a routine for my exercise, that type of thing. So
getting your
that sort
finances
of
in order, having
yeah,
a bit of a budget, putting your savings away, working on the career.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of that
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's very
Cool.
the four, the, you know, and for me that's like a Taurus energy as well, like that.
Okay.
You know, it's a
It's like
materialism type
steady.
of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have the year number 5,
Mm-hmm.
which is all about adventure, progress, movement, and change.
Mm-hmm.
So this year can be a little bit interesting because people who don't want to change, this is like the midpoint between the first year and the 9 year. So this can be where we need to change.
So this is a bit like hump day.
Yes. But it's a little bit like the tower too. It's like, okay, well, things might need to shift and change because we need a redirection. So
okay.
this is a year where we really need to lean into being flexible and going with the flow and being open to change, which could be expected and unexpected.
Okay.
It could be a lot of travel, a lot of movement. And it's I feel like you start the year number 5 as one person and you come out the other end as someone different in a new direction. Or I mean, it might not be physical, Rach. It might be like an internal shift as well.
Yeah.
So action packed, expect the unexpected, travel. It's a shake up for necessary change. So be prepared to just go with the flow in year number 5, which, I mean, you would find that beautiful being a 5 life path. Me as a 4 who likes the foundation and stability can like be a bit resistant in that energy.
And if you're into routines, routines are going to be blown out the
Shot.
Yeah. Exactly.
So this is like where it's good. You can go, oh my gosh, like I'm trying to white knuckle and hold on to this thing. But you go, oh, I'm in year number 5. Okay, well, I just need to surrender and know
Whatever
that whatever's
will
happening
be.
is happening for my highest good. So just, Okay, and then we move into the year number 6. So the 6 is very much about love, family, and domestic responsibility. So this is like focusing back in on our home life. It could be taking responsibility for our family. For you might be, you know, like an elderly family member. You might have to step up and take a little bit more responsibility for them. Like all the domestic things. It could be like buying or selling a house. It could be renovating. It could be starting it's a really good year to start a home business. And also romance and love can be highlighted. So it's a great year to get married. It could be a year that relationships can, existing relationships can be challenged as well. So, so love can be highlighted. You know, obviously there could be challenges or new relationships started. So if you're single, the year number 6 is probably, if you're in year number 5 and you're wanting a relationship, you go, oh,
wait till next year.
Next year's looking good. Yeah. Okay. And then, oh my gosh, we move into the year number 7. So while the year number 6 is about like other people, then we get into the year number 7 and it's more about like connection with self. So it's about introspection, it's developing spiritual wisdom, it's having time alone, it's about personal and spiritual growth. It's where we can take the time out to go within and analyze and go, okay, well, what's working, what's not working, who do I want to be moving forward? So where the 6 years about the other, 7 is about like really connecting back in with self.
Yeah. And just a little side note, 2023 is actually a 7 year. So even though this may not be your personal year number, this energy is going to be really flowing through this year for everyone. So you might have decided to take up some type of practice to connect to your higher self, or in this year, because the energy of this year is a number 7.
Absolutely. And we get that because 2023, when we add the 2 and the 3, we get the 7. So
yeah,
absolutely. So that is a universal number. So all of those things. And it's interesting because I feel like people are really going, okay, well, what is it that I want? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So let's go to number 8. What's a year number?
So number 8 is a beautiful year. So it's all about abundance and manifesting and career and personal power, finance, focusing on business, career, property, and legal matters, new opportunities, job, career, and abundance. So if you've got a business, like everything is support, or you want to change careers or jobs, or you want to look at moving into a promotion or a leadership role, like everything is going to be supported in this year. Like it's just, you're going to have the energy of the 8 behind you with this year. So it's just a beautiful, abundant, luscious number.
What I love about all the different years, okay, is that there's no one year that's better than the other. It's just being aware of what the energy is for you, so that you can work with it instead of against it. So, me being in the year number 9, like I would be thinking, what the hell is going on with me having this, addressing stuff that I haven't had time to in the last, decade type of thing. What's going on here? But it's just that cycle. We just have to go through it so that we can move forward. And instead of fighting that and just embracing it and releasing it has helped me to understand that. But, so every number, every year is a gift, but we just have to make sure that we're aware of it and we can embrace each gift as it's presented.
Absolutely. And it's not to say that you can't go out and be social in a year number 7, Rach. It's just, if for some reason you're like, oh, maybe not feeling as social as normal, you go, okay, well, let me just honor that because I am in my year number 7. Or if you're in a year number 8, you've been in a job for 20 years, and there's something else pops up, you go, oh, actually, I'm in year number 8, so maybe
there's a good time if I want to try. And but even with the number 7, when you said it may not be a social year, it may be that you associate with different people that have different interests, which are more reflected. You might take up yoga. You might, so
meditation.
Exactly.
Women's circles. Yes.
Exactly. All right. So year number 9.
So year number 9 is all about completion and endings and transformation. The focus is on completion, transformation, in preparation for your next year number 1. It's like a spring clean and letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. This could be job, career, relationships, friendships, belief systems, anything. It could be unprocessed emotions like what we spoke about, but anything that, this is conclusion. You've had this 9-year cycle. It's like, let's get in the shower, wash it all off, release it, and move back into authentically being ourselves and get ready for that year number 1 for next year. So it's like the spring clean before summer.
Yeah, I love it. All right, talking about the spring clean before summer, would you like to pull some cards for us today?
Oh, okay. Absolutely. Let's see what wants to come out. That's my biggest question. When someone talks about their life and their decision making, it's like, oh, okay, well, let's have a look at what year you're in. And okay, well, that makes sense.
And what energy that's bringing to you at the moment. Yeah.
And that energy really supports like what you're thinking about doing, or okay. I've had 2 drop out. Oh, okay. I'll go with these 4. Oh, yeah, I won't worry about those. I've got 4. So, and look, honestly, these 3. Okay, so we've ended up with 3 cups cards, which is all about like emotion and intuition and connecting inwardly. And then we've got the High Priestess.
Ooh.
So, and then we've got the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. All just like fell out. So, what's the message with this? This is all about connecting into that intuition, being able to see with our eyes shut, like knowing that
Third eye, connecting.
Knowing that the reality that we have within is, we can trust it. We can trust that intuition.
Do you know what I got with all of these cards?
Yeah.
These are actually the energy of this year, number 7. They're about that dealing with our emotions, connecting.
Intuition. I love this one. Did we get him last time too?
We have had him before, but yeah.
It's just that intuitive, like making decisions from those not just the emotions, but the intellect, and like working that together. And then the Knight of Cups, like he's just, let's start things, let's do what makes our hearts sing, basically.
And that's what a 7 year is all about, is actually reconnecting to what those things are. So yeah, I love these cards. If nothing else, that is the energy of this year. And maybe it's asking us, like, have we been doing this for ourselves, or if not, where can we bring this into our life a little more,
where
to
can
set
we
us
have
up
some time alone to be introspective and meditate and just really connect back in with our emotional, intuitive side.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my
Alrighty.
gosh. And then when we do that, Rach,
yeah,
we are our own gurus. We are able
are.
to, we don't need to look outside ourselves, because all our answers lie within.
Oh, all of it. It's just,
Beautiful.
when you tie everything together with that bottom card, it's crazy,
isn't it?
Just how it brings all of it makes sense. All right, everyone.
Awesome.
I hope you've enjoyed our little chat on numerology, because Fiona has always been my numerology go-to person. However, I have started to step into it myself. And that's all we want for you too, is to use it as your own little guide.
It's a guide. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Wonderful.
Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.